I'm having a hard time with this, and I want to know more from the Tolos and from everybody else what he can actually do because he was so good this year. I don't know if y'all have seen the was it Michael Gelkin that put up the tweet of where he got his sacks from.
He wrote a story about it,
and he got his sacks from everywhere. And that was something that I think a lot of people that kept pressing for him to be an edge rusher were kind of maybe have been caught off guard by, in that Mike is out here. You can put him anywhere on the field, and depending on what play you call and what you ask of him and what you ask of the rest of the team, he can still get the pressure when needed. And that's something we saw coming out of college, that he could do that. So we saw him get that. I don't know that there's are we asking him to apply more pressure to the quarterback? Anytime he went, he was pressuring the quarterback. He was very rarely held back from doing what he needed to do. So what are we asking him to do more of this year that's going to make you go, man? Because I don't have an answer to that question. I was surprised with what we got last year.
Force more turnovers. All right? That is what immediately jumps to mind for me. Now, Micah was awesome last year, and he also forced 3 fumbles, that's a heck of a start. But that would be what I would think of, is force more turnovers.
Okay. Now, here, let me ask you this part.
Okay.
And maybe we need to go back and watch every pressure play he had. How many of those times created turnovers for
Diggs, an interception on the other side?
And those guys, too.
That is a fair point.
Because you can still be the reason of turnover was forced, even though you weren't in the hands the ball went into.
I don't know if you understand what I'm going to do here, Corey, but I want my cake, and I'm damn sure going to eat it too.
I got you.
I want him to also be responsible for his own there.
Because you love the Khalil Mack strip sack for a touchdown.
For sure.
Stat.
And just take a look at...
Who doesn't?
Take a look at some of the dominant years.
Not against us.
For sure, not against us. For turnovers caused for Aaron Donald. He had 4 last year. Year before, 5. Year before, 3. Year before, 6. Year before, 6. TJ Watt, he forced 8 turnovers this last year.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for. And 8 is...
And how many did he... You said he had 3?
He had 3. And 8 is a ridiculous number, and I actually might be conflating it because I don't know for sure if a couple of these fumbles that he recovered weren't actually fumbles that he forced. But at minimum, he had 6.
Okay.
So he had between 6 and 8 turnovers forced. I think 5 turnovers and 16 sacks would be a hell of a step forward, and 18 sacks and 6 turnovers would wow me. And before people are
that would wow me too.
Yeah, and before people are like, well, that's too much, that can't be done. Robert Quinn had 18 and a half sacks last year and 4 fumbles. Micah Parsons is a better player than Robert Quinn. With all due respect, Robert Quinn had a hell of a year last year. He had 18 and a half sacks and 4 forced fumbles. That is not easy to say. I think Micah can do better than that. Now, is that too much to expect in his second year? Probably. But he blew away every expectation I had as a rookie, so why the hell not?
And obviously the other part of it is when teams decide, okay, we're gonna try to stop you from doing that now. You've become the guy on that team that we have to say we have to know where he is. That changes things because now they're committing more resources to keeping him from doing what he does best. That being said, people knew all year after the first 5 games that this guy was who he was, and they had plenty of time to start trying to adjust to that. But when people start implementing different plans, I'm curious. You just said Robert Quinn. What if, and this is don't get mad at me throwing the name out there. What if Dorrance Armstrong ends up having 12 sacks? And Micah doesn't get these sacks because Micah is doing something else that allows it. So these are the things where he may have an impact on a play that you never see in a number, where maybe go back and look at it. And I know the play, actually, you got a stat for him on this. Remember the play where he wasn't supposed to be in coverage? Yeah. And then he was like, oh crap, nobody's covering that guy. Somebody's got to. I'm not going to let him get the ball. And he decides to go do it. Well, what if he does that on a play where a quarterback's like, oh, I got the guy, and then he realizes Micah's there, and he's like, well, now I got to go somewhere else, sacked by Dorrance Armstrong. That is also making an impact on the game because of his instincts, because he knows how to play this football game. So there are other things that stand out. But when it comes to stats, Kevin, 18 and how many forced fumbles? 6?
4.
18 and 4? Huge. I would love to see something like that. But I think the growth at this point is now, how does he get the rest of the defense to play up to a standard that's his? That's going to wow me. How does he grow into the leader that everybody was asking if he was last year, when he was like, man, I'm not even me yet. I still have things I got to learn in the league. And so for me, I think the thing that's going to wow me is the defense playing up to what his standard is? Because for a long time, this has been DeMarcus Lawrence's standard, and DeMarcus Lawrence was missing from the field.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions and ideas to deconstruct there. If I can go back to the very first one, I think that would be awesome. I wonder how many of, let's just say the casual fan, don't you think the logic would be, you saw a dip in production? That's the discussion that we go round and round all the time about DeMarcus Lawrence is, well, he's doing this, he's doing that, but he's not getting what he got paid to do. And I wonder if Micah himself, I feel like he would be satisfied if the team wins, but I also think he's like, yeah, I could probably break that sack record. I have 13 as a rookie, and I'm not even a primary pass rusher.
Yeah, and
he still won't be.
I don't think his blitz opportunities, that's the thing is does he just need to be efficient on blitz opportunities or times when he's asked to rush? Yes, and that's what he was last year, the most efficient. Whenever he went after the quarterback, he was the most efficient whenever he getting to was it 18% of the time?
Which is
a ridiculous number. The number was so amazing. So just knowing that the efficiency is there, that's a huge thing. And I understand for the casual fan kind of wanting to look at, was the dip in production? Did that happen? And his impact on the game is going to come from what those numbers say a lot of time.